Okay, so let's talk about growth hormone. Now, growth hormone is amazing. Okay, its big fancy schmancy name is somatotropin. So whenever you hear someone say, oh, there's been an increase in somatotropin effects, you're going to say, you're just talking about growth hormone and it comes from your
anterior
pituitary gland. Very good. So what we know is that growth hormone is so responsible for many things that take place in our body. Look on page 78. Whenever we see that growth hormone is important for the normal development of a child, it also appears to play a vital, what's the word vital mean?
Very
important role in adapting to the stress of resistance training. Is resistance training stressful on your body? Yes. What we know is if we can keep the body anabolic, we can buffer off the stress of resistance training. So what we see is they found, these two guys that did a study, McCall and colleagues, found a positive correlation between growth hormone response and muscle fiber hypertrophy following 20 weeks of resistance training. Friends, that is amazing. We can increase growth hormone levels, increase muscular hypertrophy in 20 weeks. Okay, basically give me in months how long 20 weeks is.
4, 5.
Well, come on, do
5.
math.
5.
About 5 months. So after about 5 months of some dedicated training, you can really start to see some muscular hypertrophy if you're feeding your body the right way. This is a good time for me to remind you that you can never out-train a poor diet. You can never out-train a poor diet. And if you're eating a diet that is high in sugar and in soy and excess carbohydrates that are junk, you're just going to increase your estrogen levels and you're not going to have all of this ability to stay anabolic. Okay? Hey, look at those bullets on page 78. Look at all the things that growth hormone does in our body. You guys, it can help us use glucose better. It can actually decrease glycogen synthesis, which when we say that, that means, I know that seems like inverse relationships, but that actually, you guys, if we can decrease the synthesis of it a little bit, we can utilize it a little bit more efficiently and effectively. You guys, it increases the amino acid transport across the cell membranes. Some smart person in the room, break down and tell me what that means. If I can increase amino acid transport across a cell membrane.
Well, the cell membrane being a semi-permeable source anyways, you can pass things through the membrane to get more of it to the receptors to build or do whatever the jobs are of the amino acids.
And so what is the job of an amino acid?
To build protein.
To help build up proteins. So if I have this beautiful cocktail of growth hormone and it's helping me get all of these amino acids from the incredible food that I consumed, if it's helping me get it through the cell membrane more efficiently and effectively, that great protein that I consumed can actually do the job it needs to do, you guys. It increases protein synthesis. It increases this thing called lipolysis. What in the world is lipolysis? It tells you there, but let's talk about it.
Fat breakdown.
What's the importance of fat breaking down?
A lot less fat.
So you don't like storage too?
So that you're not storing too much. I love that. So if you're not storing it, growth hormone can actually allow you to use what as fuel? Fat as fuel. That's that victory that we have wanted forever. Remember, the body's going to eventually run out of glucose, and you don't ever want it to be burning protein or muscle. So you guys, growth hormone allows us to let the amino acids build up the protein, and it also allows us to utilize fat as fuel. It is a beautiful thing. You guys, check this out. You guys, it helps with collagen synthesis. What is collagen?
It's the most connective tissue in the body?
It's every kind of connective tissue in the body. Muscles, ligaments, skin, hair, nails, all of these things. Everyone take your finger and go like this on your cheek. Okay? Y'all that bounce back factor. You guys, as you get older, you have less and less collagen in your skin. And so we start to see that bounce back factor and that efficiency and effectiveness of collagen breaking down. If we will keep our growth hormone levels up, we can increase that collagen. The other thing it talks about is cartilage. How many of you have heard that once your cartilage was shot, it was shot your whole life? People have heard that. You guys, growth hormone can help rebuild and restore cartilage. You guys, that squishy, beautiful bounce back of things between our joints, between our vertebral disc, all of those things. Growth hormone can help keep them supple and young. It actually helps us with the retention of nitrogen, sodium, potassium, and phosphorus. What's that going to do to my electrolytes?
Gonna keep them.
Going to keep them better, more efficient and effective. It changes our plasma, renal flow. It helps with the immune cell functions. Friends, people think that testosterone is really where it is at, and testosterone is amazing. But growth hormone is this complete deck of cards that if we will just tap into it, it wants to help us. But what's the number one way to trigger growth hormone?
Testosterone.
Trigger testosterone. And we do that by what kind of training?
Fab Five.
Fab 5 training. Excellent. All right, now here's what we know. There are some things, and I mentioned this to you, but we got to talk about it. You need to see it in print. On page 79 in the left-hand column, it talks about various external factors, such as age, okay? Are you going to have more growth hormone when you're younger or when you're older?
Younger.
When you're younger, okay? Such as male versus female. Typically, who has more growth hormone?
Male.
Males, okay? Sleep. What's the deal with sleep?
You need to get the right amount.
That's when you grow.
Okay? When? This will be on game day. When in an adult person, when is the primary amount of growth hormone released into the system?
During sleep.
During REM sleep. That deep restoring sleep. And if you're not getting deep restoring sleep, then look at what you're missing out on when it comes to growth hormone. You are missing out. You've got to make sleep a priority. Nutrition. Please tell me I don't have to beat nutrition over your head, okay? You all know the right things to consume and the right things not to consume, okay? Here's when we talk about alcohol consumption. I think on the very first day that we mentioned the anabolic chain, we talked about the power of alcohol. If you want to turn off growth hormone receptors, consume alcohol. You get to choose. And look what's interesting. Lots of times when we consume alcohol, we make crappy food choices and then we don't sleep well. So it's like the trifecta of cutting off growth hormone, okay? And then also the beautiful thing is exercise. And you know what? If you're not stimulating the anabolic response, you're not getting the testosterone, growth hormone, insulin-like growth factor, and insulin that you need to build muscle. Now, an interesting thing starts to happen with growth hormone and women. We'll find that out in the next video.